for Bret the Threat. You can see him wearing that singlet there. And that's not just ring gear. He has worn that on many a mat in the past. Todd Kennelly here with the call for you, joined by Jack Farmer, who's going to be doing double duty, little ring announcing as well. And there you see the takedown early by Bret the Threat. Some good chain wrestling early. DKC is going to be really apt in close hand-to-hand combat as well. The fundamentals coming out of that New Japan LA dojo, Jack.
Well, we always talk about styles making fights. These guys, two very different. To your point, DKC, someone who likes to use those strikes, what really got him into the LA dojo and made him stand out there so much. But Bret the Threat, the kind of guy who wears his game plan on his sleeve, double leg Don, submission gangsta. He's going to try to keep this on the ground and doing a pretty good job of it so far.
You can see that, and the DKC trying to force the stand-up here. Distance will be his friend, so he can throw some of those lethal strikes. Needs some range if he's going to go upstairs with the kicks. And a takedown, though, by the DKC, using that momentum, deep arm drag, nicely done. And again, they drill the fundamentals at that dojo.
And both these guys are going to lean heavily into those fundamentals here as DKC gets Bret the Threat into the corner. To your point here, keeping things kind of close, not getting the distance that we would expect from a DKC, but still seems to get the upper hand.
Great agility, and here we see him uncorking some of those lethal strikes. Goes upstairs with the spin heel kick and takes down Bret the Threat. Don't want to waste any time here, and there's that big karate chop. He will throw it dead from above indeed, and a 2 count, says referee Chris Massey. Great to see him back in the squared circle here in Irvine as well.
Well, Bret the Threat wanting to keep this thing on the map, but this is not the way I think he wanted it done. DKC, I'm very, very impressed by how he's been able to keep control of this thing with someone like a Bret the Threat who's so good at controlling his opponent and getting down to the mat.
It's true. You know, you're right, Jack, and maybe here will be an opportunity. He's going to try and soften up those lower extremities because he is the submission gangster. He's utilizing the post. Look out here. That's a great way to shatter an ankle. And softening up, you know, from there he can go for an ankle lock later in the match. He can go for a heel hook, and there might be nothing that the eternal DKC can do. That ankle, that left leg is certainly not eternal.
Well, it's not even just an offensive move, it's a defensive move as Bret the Threat continues to work over that leg. Now that takes away all the leg strikes from DKC. He can't plant on that foot. He can't kick with that foot. He just took away about 50% of DKC's offense.
That's an excellent point. Look at this. Going to put that knee and that shin on the dissection pan and carve it up. And the DKC in trouble here. They ebb and flow like the waves on the West Coast here. West Coast Pro Wrestling, United Wrestling Network here at the Irvine Improv. And remember, Bret the Threat took the Mile High Samurai, Royce Isaacs, to the limit in this very building. And of course, Isaacs has wrestled everywhere under the bright lights. And in, you know, this tough combat style, Isaacs has gone with that as well at Bloodsport. Oh, look at that. Man, oh man, lethal strike. That's got to feel like lightning of pain. Lightning strikes of pain just radiating up the body there of the DKC.
Yeah, you mentioned the lightning. It absolutely shocking through the body. And you talk about Royce Isaacs, who we'll see later here tonight. Someone who's not easy to keep on the mat, has a background in mat wrestling. So it really shows just how great Bret the Threat is. And, you know, you're not going to win style points working the leg. You're not going to get creativity points, but it works. We talked about the basics, we talked about the fundamentals earlier on, and that's what we're seeing playing out here. Again, you're not going to see people say this was the most inventive way to take apart an opponent, but look.
Talking about the pain just rushing through the body, DDTing the foot, and that's going to go all the way up the leg. I don't know if the DKC can even get back to a vertical base, let alone throw any kicks at this point. He's being outgunned right now by Bret the Threat. And this is a two-pronged attack, as you alluded. He's setting up his game plan for the submissions, and he's taking away the primary weapons of his opponent. But look at the fire by the DKC here, Jack.
DKC says, I don't have my feet, but I still got my hands. This is the toughness that DKC learned in that New Japan LA dojo. And again, like I said, something that made him a standout there. It's tough to swim with the Sharks in the LA dojo. DKC has done it just fine, fighting back with those elbows, getting right back into this thing, even though the damage has been done to the leg.
It looks like he's moving around pretty good right now. He's able to get some speed going. Look out here. Hurricane Rana, and in a bad place here is Bret the Threat looking to capitalize. Here comes the DKC using his whole body as a weapon. And that was smart, using his back there, not necessarily using the legs. Here's the cover after the German suplex. Only a count of 2.
Well, yeah, we talked about how the leg is no longer as effective offensively. DKC just finding new ways to use his body as a weapon.
And you know, the late, great Gorilla Monsoon often said, Jack, adrenaline can do wonders. And I think instead of pain radiating, that adrenaline is flowing hot and heavy through the body of DKC now.
The problem with adrenaline is it does not last forever, though. DKC is going to need to find a way to seal the deal on this one before, well, maybe it's too late. Bret the Threat getting back in this thing.
Oh, look at this. Some striking here by Bret the Threat in his own right. I don't think you want to get in a stand-up war, though, with the DKC spinning back fist, doubled up on it. Full head of steam now, goes upstairs, falls into the cover. Close call, near fall.
Very, very close. That pump kick taking down Bret the Threat. You can see the frustration on DKC's face after that one. That one was close.
You know, the problem, too, is, Jack, a lot of times when you get specific types of covers, you run your feet to try and keep that pressure on, a little extra leverage. That's something the DKC might not be able to do. Can't execute the suplex there. Bret the Threat gets some distance, closes that gap in a hurry. He can go 0 to painful in about 1.5 seconds.
Oh, beautiful transition into that ankle lock.
And that leg has suffered from the opening bell, the ankle lock in. And scrambling now as the DKC comes up with a cover of his own. And in the dojo, in training, they're going to put you in every bad situation and see if you can find a way out. And that is where the DKC is, because he is dead center in the ring, Jack, and maybe dead to rights.
And that shows just how talented Bret the Threat is out there. You're right, DKC has seen it all, but still, Bret the Threat able to continually get submissions in here and continue to work that leg.
What a fantastic contest this is. Each trying to fight their fight and steal a little something out of their opponent's playbook. Guillotine choke here. It's going to be a little tough against the taller opponent, though. And Bret the Threat, the double leg Dawn, lives up to that moniker. Scooped him up and deposited him on the canvas, putting the pressure on for the cover. DKC out there.
A little slow on the cover, but quick to get into this STF-type maneuver. Oh, and far away from the ropes, DKC.
That's going to do it. He had that STF, but he had a choke in there as well.
And